These three things that I'm about to give you are going to completely change your footage and how you fly your drone. And the first one is, and this one comes with many variations, starting off with the rotation. And what's really going to make this one look good is adding an ascend or descend as you're rotating and matching those two speeds together. So you want something in the center of the frame, straight from above. So say that'd be a car, that'd be a person, that'd be a really cool building. Start your rotation, decide how fast you want to go. Obviously, the slower you go, the more cinematic it looks. The faster you go, the more intense it looks. And whatever speed you go, match the speed of your elevation or your of your descent, or whatever the fucking name is. And you can feel it as you're doing it. You can feel that sort of middle point where it syncs up and it looks really good. So here's a clip of a really fast rotation but a really slow ascent, or what even is the word? Elevation. We'll just go with elevation. So as you can see, we're spinning really fast but we're elevating really slow, and it just looks kind of weird. Whereas if we match those two things up and I go up at the same speed that I'm rotating, and now that matches, even though it is a bit crazy. The better example is if we slow it down. So let's do a slow rotation with a fast rise. It works, but it just looks a lot better if we do a slow rotation with a slow rise. This just matches up perfectly and gets that really nice cinematic look. That's the best that I recommend for this top-down shot. Right, so moving on to the second variation for this top-down move, it's going to be following. And this one works best with moving subjects, so cars or people work the best with this move, and it creates this lost sort of vibe. So what it is you find a nice symmetry track, so whether that be a nice woodland track down the middle of the forest, or a nice country lane, or anything that just has a nice straight road with something on the left and the right. What you're going to do is you're going to track that speed of that subject. So if they're driving a little bit faster, if they're walking a little bit slower, and you're just going to slowly rise as that person's walking. So you're tracking them, but you're slowly rising, and it kind of reveals the environment they're in. It gives this like lost sort of feeling, or just this perspective sort of feeling of where the person's going on that sort of like travel. Do you know what I mean? And you obviously can reverse it, you can come down, but it just doesn't look as good unless you're going to really come right down to the person so you can see their face, so you can see the car. It kind of just ruins the effect unless you're not going somewhere. If you are going to do it with a driver, definitely make sure you're on a call as well with each other, because that is going to make the process so much easier. You're not going to have him going too fast or you too slow. You can just communicate with each other on the phone and be like, listen mate, slow the fuck down. I can't get you in the shot, all right? Let's move on to the last one. So the third and final variation of this top-down move is going to be the passover. I'm also making these names up. These are not official names. I'm just pulling these out my ass. And this one's going to work the best with those really cool structures that have a nice shape from above that's really satisfying to look at. So I was at like an old church the other day, well not the other day, it was ages ago, and it goes out to the water and it just looks really cool from above. So I did the top-down shot, went really high, and you just slowly pass into the frame so it comes over, you just fly dead straight over it. It gives this really cinematic look and just gives you a nice perspective where you are and what it looks like from above. And you just have to be careful with this one because you can use it in the wrong places. So I used it in the wrong place with my MX-5. I flew over from above in a flat car park with just the MX-5. It didn't look that great compared to the obviously really nice old church from above. Looks really, really cinematic. So this one is more for those cinematic shots. So just make sure you pick and choose when you use it and make sure it's the right location. Right, so that is the top-down shot, and you've got three variations there to play with. There probably is more, but they're just the main ones that I use. Let's move to the next location and we'll talk about the second move, because I think these guys are about to kick me out. Just while we're pulling up, I might as well just cover quickly settings and things I use for my drone to get the best footage. So I'm always in manual mode. I'm always in 24 frames per second and 1/50th to get the smoothest drone footage. From there, that's obviously going to be overexposed on a day like this. So let me just get them out of the boot. I use these ND filters from Freewell, and what this does, it allows you to keep your settings locked in exactly where you want them, and then you just throw one of these on depending on how sunny it is. So today it's quite sunny, so I've put nearly the strongest one on, and it's just going to tint everything down for you and allow you to keep those same settings without being overexposed. They're like 50 quid, they're on Amazon, I'll leave them linked below, but definitely get some of these if you want that smooth footage on a sunny day. Right, anyway, enough of that, let's move on to the second one, which is the reveal shot, and there's only two variations for this one. Be quiet, please. That I use anyway. Two variations. It's either reveal in or reveal out. Let me actually move this camera because this is the same spot as the last shot. I don't want to get too repetitive, you know? I want to keep you watching, you know? Right, so depending on what drone you've got, this is either going to be really easy or really hard for you. So if you've got the same drone as me, the DJI Mini 3 Pro, the best fucking drone out there, all you have to do is drag a box over the point of interest that you want, and then you're locked on, and the camera is going to follow that. No matter where you move the drone, it's going to stay locked on, dead center onto that subject. It works so well. If you haven't got that, you're gonna have to do it manually, and you have to do a couple more things that I'll teach you in a second to keep this move going, basically. So the reveal shot, how does it actually work? Let's start off with the people that can actually use the lock-on focus thing. So you're gonna start close, or you're gonna start far away from a point of interest. So let's say a building, I'm gonna start nice and close to the front of this building, and then I'm gonna lock on my focus, and then I'm gonna slowly rotate backwards with the direction. So I'm gonna pick a side, so I wanna go right and diagonally back. I don't wanna go fully back, I wanna go diagonally back to get that slight pull away and slight motion to the right. And then as I'm doing that, I'm gonna slowly, again, match up the speeds like we did earlier with the rotation. I'm gonna match up the speeds of the ascension or the elevation, whatever we decided we're calling it. And you're gonna match those two things together. So you're swiping right and pulling back, but also going up, and it gives this really cool tornado reveal effect of the building and where the building is. That's what it's kind of used for. And then obviously in reverse, it's a little bit harder to catch that focus point, but drag the box everywhere you want, start really high, and then you want to go left or right, but slightly diagonally forward, and then you want to descend at the same rate as you're going to the side, and it's going to make this cool tornado reveal in effect. So where you are in the environment, let's zoom in, here we are at this cool shop. Do you know what I mean? And then here's where it gets tricky for the people that don't have that lock-on effect. You're going to have to obviously do those two stick movements the same, and you're gonna have to then use your camera, and you're gonna have to adjust the gimbal slowly as you're going around to keep that dead in the center. So you have to do 3 movements at the same time. Once you do it a couple of times, it's easy to lock in because your fingers just go the same direction. You keep that locked in, and then you just move the camera slowly. So definitely put it into your camera's slowest mode, so like the cine mode, not the sport mode, otherwise you're gonna have a really hard time. And try to keep that really, really smooth. But actually talking about sport modes, if you do have the lock-on effect, if you whack it into sport mode, you can get some really, really cool shots, because you can just go fucking balls to the wall with the speed, fly that shit around the building, and it's just gonna get this really nice fast-paced warp effect without having to worry about the camera. So yeah, pros and cons, pros and cons. I'll leave my drone link below if you want to check out the Mini 3 Pro. It is really, really, really good. So we've covered top-down shots and 3 variations. We've covered this reveal shot and 2 variations. Let's give you the last one, which is actually a little bit simpler than you might think. Let's go through here. This is way better, because then I don't have to drive to another location. I can just use this field. Let me turn you around and have a look. Look at this. Ta-da! It's overexposed, but ta-da! Right, I can't see the screen, so hopefully I'm in the center of the frame somewhere if I go far enough away. So the last shot, what is it? It is a push and a pull. That's it. And the reason for it is sometimes less is more. We get these drones and we want to fucking swing them around to get all these crazy shots, and don't get me wrong, they work, and I've given you some that work, and I've done it myself, but sometimes just taking a step back and going, you know what, this is a really cool location, let's just do a nice gradual pull in where we just fly towards it, flat screen, or we pull away from it, and it's just going to give you that really, really nice cinematic, simple look. It's pleasing to look at, and it's not so crazy. So not every shot has to be this mental move that you've created. Sometimes throw in those simple ones, and they're really going to mature your edit and just have a nice variation in there. So sorry if you were expecting something a bit more crazy, but I think everyone needs to hear it. Sometimes just calm the fuck down and do a nice simple shot in there. But yeah, let me get out of this field because it's really fucking dirty. Right, so that's all I've got to give you really. So hopefully you've got a new perspective on how to use your drone. Hopefully those new moves help with your footage and you can go give them a try. I'll leave all my stuff linked below, so my ND filters, my drone, any other accessories I have for it that help me shoot, I'll leave all that below. You can find my presets on my Instagram down there as well. Also, I hate doing this, but everyone does it, so I guess I should. If you did enjoy the video, consider subscribing. I make car/photography sort of content, so you might like some of my other videos. If not, it's fine, don't worry about it. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so we can hopefully get this channel monetized, and then I don't have to work for other people. I can just make cool content for you guys to watch. Anyway, enough of that shit. Hopefully that video helped, and I'll see you later.